live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Charita Minupurarachi.
And I am Kenza Farooq. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Negotiations between United States and the Sri Lankan government regarding new taxes is successful. European Union ready for a positive consideration at the GS Plus review on Sri Lanka. All arrangements are in place for the International Workers' Day celebrations. Special security and traffic plan mooted. A 1,000-acre forestation project under Clean Sri Lanka program. Assistant Director of Sabaragamu Provincial Council and a former Ministry Secretary taken into prison custody on financial allegations. Pakistan warns of an attack from India within the next 36 hours.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation announces the price revision of fuel from midnight today. Accordingly, a litre of Lanka Super Diesel has been reduced by 12 rupees and the price of a litre of Lanka Super Diesel Euro 4 fuel has been decreased by 6 rupees. And also a litre of kerosene has been reduced by 5 rupees, while the price of a litre of Octane 95 petrol has come down by 20 rupees, along with the litre of Octane 92 petrol, which has also been reduced by 6 rupees as per the announcement of the corporation. And also, the Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, Harshana Suryaperuma, says that negotiations between the two countries concerning the new tax regulations the United States is expecting to follow regarding Sri Lanka has been successful. The Deputy Minister made this observation at a media briefing held at the Government Information Department.
To note the approach that the government has taken and counterparts appreciated, particularly from the USTR Trade Representative's Office. It was facilitated through the US Ambassador's Office in Washington, and it was a good opportunity for us to get a time slot to meet early while many other countries are trying to reach out to US for these discussions. We all understand this is not targeting Sri Lanka. This is applicable to many countries across the world, the situation in relation to tariff. It was very important to note that they were very appreciative of the Sri Lankan government's approach, that we reached out formally, we reached out promptly and quite positively to engage with the discussions with the authorities. In those respective, Sri Lankan approach was not just one-sided on the government's approach only. We had discussions with the industry before we formulated our response, and based on that, considering the important requirements of industry, particularly to maintain the competitive position our industries are maintaining in the global framework, we formulated our response and it was very well received. It was very important for us to maintain and explain to them the position that Sri Lanka is within an IMF program. Our ability to make certain decisions are limited to the extent with the program parameters that we are supposed to comply. We are going through an ambitious revenue consolidation program, so therefore there are certain challenges that we may have which other countries are not subjected at the moment. So we were able to explain those situations to the counterparts and they were very well received. Then in relation to the
Deputy Minister Harshana Suryaperuma made remarks at the ongoing Extended Fund Facility program with the International Monetary Fund.
The press release by then in relation to the IMF discussions that we had, it was very productive discussions, very successful discussion as well. As we are all aware, the press release by the IMF indicated the successful outcome and the government was able to conclude those discussions in light of the ongoing scenarios based on US tariff discussions, because the economic impact of the US tariff discussions were a key item during those discussions as well, to understand how our exporters will be impacted, the reserve positions will be impacted, but based on the discussions it was quite positive. The way Sri Lankan government has prepared, IMF team also recognized our approach, the proactive approach of the present government, the engagement of the present government with a very constructive approach and a plan to deal with it to resolve the situation. A key item that was discussed is relating to the tariff adjustments for electricity pricing, and it was quite clear, everyone recognized the independence regulators, Public Utility Commission's position as an independent regulator for them to make the right decision by considering the cost recovery approach and various other aspects that within the mandate that they are required to looking at. Once again, it is imperative that everyone recognizes there should not be a situation that is leading back again to where CEB is incurring losses. Therefore, the approach and the way forward was very clear in terms of submission, the regular submission of data from the CEB side to the Public Utility Commission for them to make the right call at the right time on an independent manner. We were able to explain very clearly, it's not the intervention of the government, but it is the decision of the Independent Utility Commission.
Minister Professor Anil Jayantha Fernando expressed views regarding the state-owned enterprises.
Real plan is to look at each and every SOE separately, because the nature of the particular entity and its objective and operations are totally different from one to another, so that we need to take case by case basis, but keeping on the mind to reach the objectives, to make if possible just convert them, transform them into highly efficient institutions, or through different mechanisms, maybe the private sector involvement or any other. So likewise there are different options. So the restructuring does not simply mean that divestiture only. Divestiture is only one of the options. So how best we could look at, already we have appointed the appointed committee, including the experts have been appointed. They look at these things by referring to the prevailing legal framework and the new acts which are going to be amended and introduced, especially the Strategic Development Acts and other things, and this would be done. So with respect to the time frame, it is not possible to specify the clear timeline. The situation may vary depending on the situation of the case. So however, the restructuring would take place, but we can give an assurance by referring to the budget allocations and the fiscal space that we have. So we are not going to operate any of these SOEs, because there are some SOEs do not generate any profits. So some SOEs are needed to monitor the market, to win the market in order to ensure the efficiency. In that regard, you can't assess its performance by referring to profits. But whenever it is applicable with respect to profits or revenue generation, of course, we are not going to maintain those institutions by transferring the treasury or the supports to these things. So then it is the responsibility of the respective the boards, the management, to come out with their own strategies while that particular committee is analyzing the given situation.
The head of South Asia Division European External Action Service at the European Union, Charles Whitley, states that the European Union has a favourable perspective on the current GSP Plus review process. He made these remarks during a meeting held today at the Presidential Secretariat with President Anurukumara Dissanayake as part of an official visit by a European Union delegation to Sri Lanka. Charles Whiteley highlighted the long-standing partnership between Sri Lanka and the EU, which was led to significant trade gains. He affirmed that the EU's willingness to continue supporting Sri Lanka in achieving further commercial progress. He stated the GSP Plus concessions from the European Union are anticipated to encourage Sri Lanka to provide products that meet standardized quality requirements. He further said that the continuation of GSP Plus trade concession is assessed on alignment with the current government's policy commitments and progress. The meeting assessed Sri Lanka's advancements in executing 27 international conventions related to the European Union's GSP Plus tax concession, known as the Generalized System of Preferences. President Dissanayake expressed his gratitude for the EU's assistance during Sri Lanka's economic crisis. He acknowledged that the GSP Plus facility has played an important role in supporting the country's export sector and economic recovery. The President further noted that the collapse of Sri Lanka's economy was the result of a deeply flawed political system. Economy was a result of it. The President stated that the current administration is working to rebuild the country through stable and transparent governance. Through this, transformation will require time. Highlighting a key shift in political support, the President pointed out that unlike previous governments, which relied heavily on support from the south, the current administration was elected with the collective support of Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim communities from across the country. The President reaffirmed his government's commitment to delivering on the promises made to all citizens. Ministers and parliamentarians, representatives of the European Union and several others were present on this occasion. Tomorrow is the International Workers' Day. Political parties and various organizations have organized May Day rallies on this occasion.
May Day rallies, processions and commemorative functions are expected to be held in various places in the island, including Colombo. Main May Day rally of the National People's Paw will be held at the Goldface Green tomorrow. Deputy Minister of Labour Mahinda Jayasinghe today was on an inspection tour at the venue of the May Day rally. Deputy Minister of Labour Mahinda Jayasinghe said that not only the National People's Paw but also the political movement of this country is expecting to hold the largest May Day rally in the history. They will also be held at properly organised May Day rallies. The government hopes that tomorrow's May Day rally will be for the development of Sri Lanka. The May Day rally of the Samagi Janabalawege will be held at the Talawakele town. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has organised his May Day rally at the Ananda Samarakon Open Air Theatre, Nugegoda. The Frontline Socialist Party has made arrangements to hold its May Day rally at the PRC grounds in Colombo. The May Day rallies of Sri Lanka Communist Party and the Democratic Leftist Front along with the Sri Lanka People's Party will be held at the Hyde Park in Colombo. A special security program and a traffic plan will also be implemented for the May Day processions to be held tomorrow on the occasion of the International Workers' Day. Various political parties and trade unions have organised processions, meetings, commemorative functions in Colombo and adjoining areas. According to the police headquarters, the police stations have been instructed to implement a security and a traffic plan program for the May Day celebrations to be held in outstations. Police request the motorists to use alternative roads since there is a possibility of traffic jams during the May Day rallies and celebrations. DIG Indika Hapugoda said that the arrangements have been made to hold 14 rallies on May Day covering the 3 police divisions of Colombo North, Colombo South and Central Colombo. Sri Lanka police have engaged the officials of the Colombo Municipal Traffic Division to provide security of the vehicles and roads. Meanwhile, the Excise Department has announced that all liquor outlets will remain closed throughout the island tomorrow on the occasion of the May Day. In an official commitment issued, the department informs that except hotels approved by Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Authority, all other retail liquor outlets will have to remain closed.
Assistant Director of the Sabaragamu Provincial Council and former Ministry Secretary taken into custody by the Criminal Investigation Department have been transferred to prison custody until the 8th of May under the orders of the Ambilipitiya Magistrate Thilina Mahesh Pires. They have been taken into custody in connection with irregularities amounting to 77 million rupees by processing fraudulent papers. The former Assistant Director of Planning Kusumlata Kumanayaka of the Provincial Roads Development, Rural Infrastructure, Facilities and Provincial Roads Maintenance Ministry has been thus taken into custody. She was taken into custody recently while evading the Criminal Investigations Department. Deva Vijay Raja, who has been the Secretary of the Provincial Roads Ministry of the same Provincial Council, was also taken into custody after surrendering to the court through an attorney at law.
On your more local stories, leader of the opposition Sajid Premadasa says that the security of the country will be assured through civil security committees, and the opposition leader made these remarks at a public meeting held in Mavanella. The public meeting was organised to ensure the victory of Samagi Janabalawege during the forthcoming local government elections. Leader of the opposition Sajid Premadasa said that People's Community Civil Security Committee and City and Village Centred Civil Security Committees will be established where Samagi Janabalawege comes to power in the forthcoming local government elections. Those committees will be entrusted with working in accordance with the support of all communities, religious places in all divisions with the leadership of the people. The police of the area security divisions will also come together with the government officials who are responsible for establishing law and order. And meanwhile, a public meeting of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held at the Ahungalla area yesterday under the leadership of the national organizer of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Namal Rajapaksa. The public meeting was organised to confirm the victory contesting from Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna during the forthcoming local government elections. National organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Namal Rajapaksa requested that investigations have to be carried out wherever frauds occurred without trying to hunt down officials. Legal action should be taken in case of officials were be found engaged in irregularities. He appealed to the voters to ensure the victory of the party in the electorate since an efficient team has been forwarded by the party, including the talented youth and veterans. And meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that the powers of the local government institutions is more important in building a country without frauds and corruption. The Prime Minister made this observation addressing a public meeting held at Horana.
අනුර සහෝදරයා ජනාධිපතිකම බාරගත්තයින් පස්සේ ඒ දේශපාලන සංස්කෘතිය ඉහළ ඉඳන්ම පවත්වාගෙන යනවා. ජනතා මුදල් කියන ඒවා අපි ආරක්ෂා කරන්න බැඳිලා ඉන්නවා. නාස්තිය, දූෂණය, වංචාව, හොරකම අපි
And meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that the patronage of Mahasangha is essential to improve Pirivan and Bhikkhu education. The Prime Minister expressed these views at a function held at Sri Subodhi Ramajamaya Mihare in Bomuluwa in Kalutara yesterday. The 125th anniversary of Amanupura Arya Vansha Saddharma Yuktika Nikaya was commemorated at the Vihare premises yesterday. Tributes were paid to 63 Buddhist monks who rendered their services to the Buddha Sasana, along with the rewarding of posts to several laypersons at this function. Mahanayaka of the Amarapura Arya Vansha Saddharma Yuktika Nikaya, Venerable Ekodamulle Amaraboli Thera, led the commemorative function. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that the teaching of the Buddha provide the basic structure needed by the society, which the government is taking efforts to create. The country is in need of basic tenets of teaching of Buddha, such as the equanimity, justice and loving kindness, the Prime Minister added.
මෙවැනි සමාජයක් තමයි අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙවැනි වටිනාකම් මත්ය සංවිධානය වෙච්ච පෙළ ගැහුණු සමාජයක් තමයි අපි නිර්මාණය කළ යුත්තේ. ඒ නිසා මේ අවස්ථාව තුල අපිට නැවත අපිට මතක් කිරීමක් අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ සම්ප්‍රදායක්ම නෙවෙයි මේක ජීවමාන දෙයක්.
The occasion was attended by Mahasangha and Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa with a large gathering.
නැවත නැවත මතක් කළ යුතුයි අවබෝධ කරගත යුතුයි කියලා මම හිතනවා.
මෙම අවස්ථාවට මහා සංඝරත්නය සහ මාත්‍ය නලින්ද ජයතිස්ස මහතා ඇතුළු පිරිසත් එක්ක
Under the Clean Sri Lanka program, plans are underway to launch a 1,000-acre forest plantation project in collaboration with the private sector. The large-scale initiative is designed to operate under the Public-Private-People Partnership concept and a preliminary discussion on the project was held today at the Presidential Secretariat. The discussion focused on resolving technical aspects associated with the project and addressing the fundamental issues necessary for the land release. The program aims to implement several effective environmental projects in the coming year with the active participation of the private sector. These efforts are intended to safeguard the country's biodiversity, forest cover and natural ecosystems, while also reinforcing the shared responsibility of the public, government and private sector in environmental conservation. The discussion was chaired by Senior Additional Secretary to the President Russell Ponso and Additional Secretary of the Clean Sri Lanka Programme SBC Sugeshwara.
And meanwhile, the Colombo High Court today ordered to postpone the hearing of the case filed against former Minister Patali Champika Ranavaka and 3 others pertaining to a vehicle accident until the 25th of July. The former minister and the defendants had been alleged of causing of a serious accident to a youth of Rajagiri area in 2016 and hiding witness and creating fraudulent witnesses in the case. The hearing was conducted in the presence of Colombo High Court Judge Sujiva Nishankar. Defendant Patali Champika Ranavaka has filed an appeal petition to the Supreme Court requesting the quashing of it since the case is not in accordance with as been forwarded by the Attorney General. The case also informed the order of the appeal has not yet been received. Attorneys at law appearing for defendants requested the court to postpone the case until the order is received. The Colombo Magistrate Court today ordered to commence the examination of witnesses of the magistrate examination on the 16th of next month in connection with the death of a youth named Dimesh Tatsar, who is said to have died following attacks after being taken into custody by the Velikada police. Accordingly, the magistrate ordered the Criminal Investigation Department to issue warrants informing them to be present before the court on that day for 5 witnesses in order to record witnesses in the concerned investigation. The order has been announced by the Colombo Additional Magistrate Tanuja Ratnayaka after taking into consideration a request made by the Criminal Investigation Department. A defendant who pled guilty on allegations of possessing and pledging heroic narcotic has been awarded a life imprisonment by Colombo High Court Magistrate Navaratna Marasinghe. The motorcycle used by the defendant to transport the concerned stock of narcotics has also been ordered to be confiscated.
Prime Minister Dr. Harina Amarasurya says that the powers of the local government institutions is more important in building a country without frauds and corruption. The Prime Minister made this observation addressing a public meeting held at Horana. The meeting was held at Horana to consolidate the victory of National People's Power during the forthcoming local government elections, which was organized under the theme of Gama Apatai Jaya Niyathai. Prime Minister Dr. Harina Amarasurya said that the political culture has been rectified from the top since Anura Kumara Disanayake became the president. The government is also bound to save the funds of the people by removing wastage, corruption and fraud. The NPP government has taken steps to create a political culture with proper discipline, and the change is being made.
Moving to the weather update, intermittent rains or thunderstorms were expected during night at most places in the island. The effect from prevailing tropical weather condition has been cited as a reason for the present climatic condition. Heavy rains of 100 millimeters is expected in certain places in central, Sabaragamuwa, Uva, eastern and north central provinces. The Meteorology Department requests the public to take necessary steps in order to minimize dangers caused by strong winds and lightning which may occur along with thunderstorms. In the meantime, rains or thunderstorms have been predicted around the sea areas of the island intermittently. The Met Department adds that the sea around area island would warm harmly normal to fairly rough weather conditions. The water level of the Dielupa waterfall has steeply risen with continuing heavy rains. It has been requested to be on alert during the upper Dielupa areas due to this reason. A tree has fallen on a line of a house with strong winds and incessant rains prevailed in Lidula Miria group of estates in Talavakale. According to Lidula police, heavy damages have been caused at the house area, and although no one has been injured. Rajangana Reservoir, in spite of now due to heavy rains in Anuradhapura area. 6 sluice gates of the reservoir were opened this morning today, and the volume of 6,300 cubic feet of water per second is being released to Kala Oya. The engineer in charge of the Rajangana Reservoir stated that 4 sluice gates have been opened. An earth mound has crashed onto a house at Egoda Valavit area in Badula last evening due to the prevailing heavy rains. According to our correspondent, no loss of lives have been reported. And now let's move on to some more local news items in brief. The new multi-purpose building of the Sri Lanka Examination Department is opened today under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harina Amarasurya. The cost of the building is 478 million rupees. 5 people have been injured in a car accident in Madinagod area. They have been admitted to the Colombo National Hospital. Police say the accident occurred when the vehicle lost control of its speed and crashed into an electric pole and a wall. 3 of the people who are reported to be in critical condition. The Point Pedro police have recovered 322 kilos of Kerala cannabis. The cannabis were loaded into fertilizer bags and brought to the Point Pedro coastline by boat. 3 suspects have been arrested by police, say that they have also seized the 2 boats. The Department of Motor Transport in Narayanpeta has announced that its main office will remain closed to the 5th and 6th. Reason for this is to facilitate local government elections. A preliminary discussion on action plan to control the rapidly spreading disease of chickenpox and dengue was held today at the Western Province Governor's office. A task force was also established under the title War on Force, and Western Province Governor Hanif Yusuf and a group of others participated in it. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Pakistan says that it had credible intelligence that India is planning to attack it within days, as Pakistan nationals headed for the border to comply with New Delhi's orders to almost all Pakistani citizens to leave the country following last week's deadly attack in Indian country-ruled Kashmir. An attack on tourists in Indian-controlled Kashmir and India's moves to punish Pakistan, which denies any connection to the massacre, have driven tensions between the nuclear-armed rivals to their highest point since 2019. Early today, Pakistan said it had credible intelligence that India intends to carry out military action against it in the next 24 to 36 hours on the pretext of baseless and connected allegations of involvement in the Pahalgam incident. There was no immediate comment from Indian officials. Indian government officials said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given complete operational freedom to the armed forces to decide on the mode, targets and timing of India's response to the Pahalgam massacre, speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive deliberations. The Sri Lankan players who won medals at the South Asian Junior Table Tennis Championships arrived in the island last night. They were given a warm welcome at the Bandar Naik International Airport in Katunayake.
The tournament was held in Kathmandu, Nepal. Around 80 athletes from 7 countries in South Asian region participated in the tournament. Sri Lanka was represented by 4 teams, namely boys and girls under 15 years of age and boys and girls under 19 years of age. Sri Lanka won 2 silver medals and 8 bronze medals in the tournament, finishing as the runner-up in the overall tournament. With that victory, they also qualified for the Asian Junior Table Tennis Championship to be held in Uzbekistan in June. Sri Lanka won silver medal in under 15 girls and under 19 boys team and even of the tournament. A group of officials from the Sri Lanka Table Tennis Association, including officials, were present to welcome the winning players.
Kolkata Knight Riders registered a 14-run win over Delhi Capitals in the Indian Premier League cricket tournament yesterday. The match was held in Delhi. Batting first, Kolkata Knight Riders scored 204 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 20 overs. Angrish Raghuvanshi scored 44 runs while Rinku Singh scored 36 runs. Mitchell Starc took 3 wickets in the bowling. In reply, Delhi Capitals could only manage 190 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 20 overs. Faf du Plessis scored 62 runs. Akshar Patel scored 43 runs. Sunil Narine took 3 wickets in the bowling. Kolkata Knight Riders won the match by 14 runs.
Look at that dive. Magnificent. Absolutely terrific. Best dot ball in the game. A wicket dot ball. What a catch. Mendes the other day. Chamira today.
And with that, IPL update will be wrapping up tonight. News Dodgers tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Sharita signing off with Kenza. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.